What's up, everyone? Bret here. Time for your December 2022 Greater Houston Real Estate Market Update. First off, I want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year to all of you out there watching this. I wish you a joyous month, the weeks, the days you have with your family. Enjoy it, okay? So again, whatever holiday you're celebrating, we love you. We hope you have a great time. Regenerate, rejuvenate, do all these things, relax, and don't pay attention to the news. Let me do that. Let me get balder, because trust me, under here, no hair. So anyway, let's get into the update, okay? So single family home sales dropped 30%, 30.4 to be exact, but 30% year over year. So November of 2022 versus November of 2021, 30% home sales fell. Okay, so that is the steepest decline that we've seen in 2022, month to month, year over year. So, and that's 8 months in a row, okay? So as we continue to endure some tough economic headwinds, okay? We are seeing light at the end of the tunnel, okay? We were on a 2-year tear that just could not keep up. Again, it's not the housing market necessarily that, home values or construction costs or lumber, which there have been in supply constraint, COVID. It's been a roller coaster the last couple of years, okay? So it's not as much a housing problem, and I'll go over one data point in a second that you need to pay attention to that is a good indicator, at least in my opinion. But again, it's the cost of money right now, which is a direct result of the Fed's aggressive action to kind of combat inflation, which is a more pressing concern. Milk, bread, gasoline, heating, electricity, costs that families endure day to day, much less like buying a second or third home or financing a home that they bought. Rents have gone up a lot too. So it's just, we're all part of the same economy, okay? So don't be too fearful when you see this economic news. As a matter of fact, you probably want to buy a stock when it's so we're right on the cusp of hopefully some great economic opportunities in the form of housing, okay? All housing segments experienced negative sales in November, okay? So again, this is November of 2022 compared to November of 2021, okay? Days on market for single family homes went from 35 days to 48. That's less than 2 weeks supply difference. But these huge numbers, 8 months decline, 30% lower, 30% less sales. That sounds like, the depression or recession's headed, we're headed for that. But only 13 days difference, days on market, that's one indicator, okay? Total property sales fell 30%, again, 30.2 to be exact, with 7,171. I've been hitting the eggnog a little early, just kidding. 7,171 units sold. So sounds like about 10,000 units were sold last November, about 7,000 this November, okay? And the total dollar volume declined 28% to $2.7 billion. Mumbo jumbo, don't worry about that stuff, okay? Single family average price rose 5.8% to $403,000. There's your home values. Okay. Another indicator, single family homes months of inventory registered a 2.9 month supply, up from 1.9 months a year earlier. This is the greatest level of inventory since July of 2020. So we're seeing a lot less sales, but the dollar amount is not changing. The days on market is going slightly longer. The supply is going slightly longer. So to have this amount of less sales occurring, but to still have inventory not too crazy, it seems like it's in line with what's going on. So there's something called a lock-in, not syndrome, but the lock-in mindset of a lot of homeowners who have that great interest rate, and they just might not put their home on the market because they have such a great rate. They're like, we'll wait a few months, or we might wait till next summer, or we're at least gonna wait for Q1 and Q2 to finish up to see what the market's looking like, May, June, July, August. Okay, so the short-term forecast is that rates are going to stay probably where they're at in the 6s, potentially a little higher with the next Fed hike, which, like I said, could have occurred today already. But we are hoping that once inflation's in check, the housing market is what drives this economy. So many people, so many jobs, trades, vendors, subs, so many people in different aspects of the economy have their hands in building and construction. So they really don't want to put a damper on one of the best performing economic sectors of the country, in my opinion. We went on a tear for 2 years, 2.5 years. Again, things are just settling. And don't be fearful. If your family needs to sell or needs to buy, there's plenty of opportunity. There's plenty of buyers. There's plenty of sellers. There's plenty of people out there still doing real estate. The good news is a lot of these knucklehead agents that were being able to sell, homes left and right when it was a gold rush, they're withering away. So a lot of the, or at least, I'm wearing a hat and looking like an idiot, and I'm talking about idiot agents. But there's a lot of them that aren't worth a darn, okay? And they're falling by the wayside. So we're kind of cleaning house and letting the professionals get back to advising, helping, and being there for their clientele, their friends, their family, their neighbors, their church members. Again, I'm looking forward to the next few months. And if you've been keeping your powder dry, this might be a good time to pounce or be ready to pounce on some real estate. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, concerns, thoughts, you just want to talk about the state of the housing market or anything whatsoever, reach out to me. You know my name, you know my number, you know my email. Please reach out. And in the meantime, have a wonderful holiday season. And again, like I said, don't pay attention to the news. Do what you need to do. Love, hugs, kisses. Enjoy your family time, your friend time. And we'll see you next month. And it'll be 2023 by then. Okay, guys? All right, talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Later.